Hey guys, it's Wale Oladipo here. I want to talk to you about how to avoid or transform burnout. If you've been burnt out, what are the things that you can do to start to transform your state? Now, we know that burnout is when the body and the mind withdraw from their biochemical and physiological roles of supporting you. Why? Because they've been overstretched over time. So burnout is a psychological and also physiological, even emotional, with regards to its operation. Now, it is possible to burn out physically and not burn out psychologically, emotionally. In other words, your mind, your spirit is still willing, but the body is weak, as our most cherished biblical principle says. But other times, these two things could happen at the same time when your mind is no longer willing and your body is given up. So when your mind is no longer willing, you lose interest in things that used to thrill you, that used to excite you, that used to make you feel alive. And also the body is going through what my body oriented, my autonomic nervous system guru teacher called the dorsal state of collapse, shutdown, withdrawal from the world. You lose the interest in integrating. You become to disintegrate. You move away from social engagement. Now, how do you climb back up from a state of autonomic nervous system collapse and the mind shutdown effect of your burnout? Now, the first thing I'd like to know is to acknowledge that you've been burned out. You are in a burnout state. That means your autonomic nervous system has downgraded its processes. It does not function as it should. It's been overstretched. It's what the father of modern research, Hans calls a state of exhaustion, when the entire body system has moved into a state of self-preservation because of the overstimulation, or because of the overstimulation of the chronic sympathetic state, which is the fight-flight state. Burnout can happen if you live constantly on the edge of your ultimate ability, and people scrutinize that. So constantly, maybe you work in a job that's very, very demanding, and it's almost as if you're stretching yourself every day, and at the same time, you are facing tremendous amount of scrutiny. That could actually overwhelm consciousness. That could break down your body's adaptive, reactive mechanism. So what do? The first thing, acknowledge that you've been burnt out. You're in a burnout state. So that means the entire metabolic processes have dropped, sometimes up to like 65-85% of their full energy. So understand that you've been burned out, and the second thing is to slow down. You've got to slow down. You cannot continue to force things. Sometimes you lose interest in work, in family, in things that used to actually thrill you, excite you, give you energy. But other times you maintain the interest, but you just don't have the capacity and the emotional resilience to continue to maintain those spaces of interaction. So just understand that slowing down is one of the first steps to recovery. Number 3 is to let somebody know that you're suffering from burnout. You will never believe how many people just pretend that everything is fine. When you have experienced burnout, the cooperation of others around you and the understanding, especially of your family, is very important, because you are going to need a lot of recuperation. And number 4 is to prioritize nature. Now, burnout is a state of autonomic nervous system shutdown, which means that you are below the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight state. So you need to move on to a state of fight or flight, then a state of healing. So, but first of all, you have to mobilize your energy gradually. So walking, according to studies from Harvard Medical Report, walking has been one of the most powerful, working in nature, ways to get yourself back up. Prioritize walking at least 15 minutes every day. And when you walk, pay attention to your bodily sensation. Don't walk too fast at the start. Pay attention to nature. Practice gratitude as you walk. To me, burnout is nothing but wisdom gained in order to pay attention to your bodily sensations, to be aware of the wisdom within you, to be aware of the limitation of the body and mind. So I've said that again, that's deep. Burnout is wisdom gained in order to respect the wisdom of your body, your bodily sensations, to know that you have limitations with regard to your body. You cannot overstretch it too much, or you cannot stay in a perpetual state of chronic activation of your fight-flight nervous system, a state of stress response. So I'm Oladipo. Walk your way into a state of strength. Gradually, walking will increase blood flow to your brain, will bring you up gradually from the state of collapse and helplessness and shutdown to a state of activation of your social engaging power. Your motivation will come back. You start to be able to think and focus more, and then you can take up other sports, like swimming, like cycling, even like running, as you pay attention to your energy level. I'm Oladipo. There's so much to talk about. Get to one of our conferences. We have a whole bunch of other things to talk about with regards to maintaining constant state of health and helping others also to achieve that breakthrough of emotional wellness. I'm Oladipo speaking to you from Gateshead today. I'm in Newcastle upon Tyne, Gateshead. Just waiting to have a conference right now. All the very best. Bye.